I chose to come to Herkimer because of the fashion program.
I am continuing my education at Cornell University.
The main thing that you come here for is to be successful.
Well, I didn't think I'd be pushed as hard as I was, but it's a good push. I like being competitive. I like working hard.
There's so many things to do on campus. There's a club for everything.
You can have a great education for very low cost.
We have everything a four-year college has.
We are successful,
Creative, supportive,
Social,
Innovative,
champions.
We are Herkimer College.
Students can come to Herkimer College and really have that full collegiate experience. We want every single student to succeed. And this year, we were named the second best community college in the state of New York. We have built an athletic program that is nationally ranked, and it is the hard work, the dedication, and the commitment of our faculty and staff that has enabled Herkimer to be the college that it is today. Can't have that full collegiate experience. We want every single student to succeed, and it is the dedication and the commitment of our faculty and staff that has enabled Herkimer to be the college that it is today.
Teachers are very helpful.
Small classes, intimate learning environment.
It exposed me to different cultures.
And it's like the tranquility of the environment.
We are the #2 community college in the state. That says something.
We are Herkimer College.
Students can't have that full collegiate experience. We want every single student to succeed, and it is the dedication and the commitment of our faculty and staff that has enabled Herkimer to be the college that it is today.
Please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem. It will be performed by senior Danny Lee Rivet. Seniors, you asked me today about removing your caps for this, and I did my research, and the gentlemen should remove their graduation caps, and the ladies may keep theirs on. So Danny Rivet will lead us in the national anthem. Thank you and good evening. My name is Mary Tomaso. I'm principal of Herkimer High School. Welcome to the class of 2021 commencement ceremony. In an effort to protect our community, we do ask that unvaccinated guests wear a face covering throughout the ceremony. You will notice too that our school nurse, Mrs. Anderson, is here on the right side of our field to assist with your medical needs. Also know that our very own photographer, Mr. Ryan Aurelio, will be on the field to take photos of your graduate, and we will post those and make them available to you. So when it's time to take pictures of your graduate, please remain at your seats so that we can do so safely. And now we begin our celebration of seniors. And with that, I would like to introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Robert Miller, who will welcome us here today.
Good evening. It is my privilege to welcome you to the graduation ceremony for the Herkimer Central School District Class of 2021. Collectively, we have all been through many trials over the last 15 months, but the pandemic has been particularly hard on our children. The support of our community, the Board of Education, our dedicated, caring faculty, staff, parents, and caregivers have been even more important than normal in making this day possible. I'm grateful to all of you for your hard work and patience helping guide and transform the children who entered the Herkimer Elementary School more than a decade ago on the path to independence as the young adults of the class of 2021 graduating today. The class of 2021 is an amazing group of students who have overcome all the trials they have faced and found strength and unity to face the tremendous adversity of this unique year. Our ceremony marks another stride for your children towards adulthood with the freedoms and responsibilities that come with their budding independence. We want these graduates to know how very proud we are of them and hopeful we are about their futures. 2 staff members were critical, each in their own way, for these students' successes, have made the very difficult personal decision to leave the district after long careers. These dedicated staff members are off to the next chapter in their lives, hopefully a life of leisure in retirement. Our retirees this year are Kim Lanza and Laura Salomon. Would you please join me in a round of applause to recognize these dedicated individuals and their contribution to make this day come to fruition. We are confident the class of 2021 will use the knowledge and experiences gained in our school to earn their diplomas, to find their path to personal excellence. We wish them all a happy, healthy, and successful life. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you the Herkimer Senior High School Class of 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. And now we will welcome Mr. Brian Crandall, President of the Herkimer Central School District Board of Education.
Good evening, friends and family here and virtually, and of course our graduates. My name is Brian Crandall. I'm the Herkimer Central School Board of Education President, and I am honored to represent the Board of Education today to address the Herkimer Central School graduating class of 2021. I just want to say to the graduating class, congratulations on a different kind of educational year. One that would see you wearing masks to school and only going to school in person 2 days every week. Who was there for you every step of the way? Family. I'm here to talk to you today about family. Family is what you make of it. Whether it is your mother and father, your aunt and uncle, your grandparents, or even close friends that you call family, they were there for you throughout the school years and especially this year. Family is what helps everyone through the day, the easy days, and more important, the hard days when you don't know if the day will end. I hope that when you look back at your education here at Herkimer Central School, that you will think of all your interactions with everyone you met here as family. Senior class of 2021, you have already shown that you are a graduating class that will be talked about for the ages. Now is your time to go out in the world and lead like you have in Herkimer. Whether you have chosen to go to college, trade school, the military, or the workforce, the world is looking for new and innovative ways to see every aspect of life. And it is up to you, the class of 2021, to tackle this challenge head on. We have all the confidence in you that you can change the world. I think that I can confidently say that along with your families, your past teachers, Ms. Tomaso, Mr. Miller, and the rest of the Board of Education, We are all excited to see what the future brings to all of you. And though we know that you will have some failures in the years to come, we know each and every one of you will succeed and do great things. Good luck, congratulations, and welcome to the next stage in your lives, Herkimer Central School graduating class of 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Crandall. We appreciate the work that you and your colleagues do for our schools. One of my favorite Herkimer traditions is that our own students are our graduation speakers. To make the occasion even more meaningful, our student speakers ask a member of our staff whom they admire and respect to introduce them. Continuing with this tradition, we begin by welcoming kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Melanie Couchman.
And thank you, Ella, for giving me this honor today. So I met Ella for the first time way back in kindergarten. She came into my classroom as a sweet, little, curious 5-year-old. As I looked through the senior yearbook, I noticed that she is still just as curious, as she seems to be quite famous for asking questions. I'm sure you all have heard of the poster and book, All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten by Robert Fulghum. But here is a question for Ella. Have you ever heard about the story, All I Really Need to Know I Learned from a Kindergartner by Mrs. Couchman? Lesson number 1. Situations rarely go as planned. Every year at the elementary school, we have an open house. The year I had Ella, we were directed to give a speech about our daily schedule. As I began, Ella became so excited to be at open house that she could not stop talking and asking questions. Before I knew it, the time was up, and I had no idea what I said or did, and I got so upset because that had never happened to me before. But what Ella didn't know was that in that moment, I learned to always have a backup plan and to anticipate the unexpected and be willing to be flexible. Teaching and life became a whole lot sweeter when I began to think like that. Thank you, Ella. Lesson 2, eat the cookie. I would run into Ella and her family at Hannaford often, well, like weekly. And as this one time, she had a sugar cookie from the bakery. And she insisted that I go get one from the bakery as they were free. Well, y'all know how persistent Ella can be, especially if you ever bought donuts from her for a class fundraiser. Well, I politely declined as I was trying so hard to resist sweets to help lose a few pounds. But what Ella didn't know was that after she left, I did go back and they were gone. I was feeling sad and of course hungry by then. So I went to the cookie aisle and I bought a package of cookies and brought them to my mom's house, where we ate a whole row together and created a new tradition of Monday night cookies and milk after grocery shopping and that lasted for years. I learned that making memories is far more important than a few extra calories. So please, eat the cookies and enjoy the little things. Life is sweeter that way. Thank you, Ella. Lesson 3, include people. Ella invited me to her birthday party that kindergarten year. But what Ella didn't know was that I had spent all day at my dad's house cleaning it out, deciding what to keep, what to throw away. It was so sad and depressing. And I was so looking forward to her party and seeing my kindergarten kids in an informal setting. It was so what I needed that day. So I learned to invite people to do things because people need to be with you as much as you need to be with them. There are good people in the world, and life is sweeter when you can surround yourself with good people. Thank you, Ella. For the 4th and final lesson I'd like to share is that you can find more looking down than you can looking up. So I'm at the store again. I think there's a shopping thing going on. And I see her and her family. And Ella is putting her hands in every gumball machine. She's looking for prizes or change, and she does find some. Ella and her dad tell me how you find more looking down than up. Now I know they're referring to maybe that 4-leaf clover you find down in the grass, that special cool pebble you find on the ground that you put into your pocket, or that penny on the ground that will surely bring you luck all day if it's heads up. Now this lesson is especially meaningful right now. So let's stop and think for a moment about all our loved ones who are up there looking down on us right now. Boy, oh boy, do they love what they see. They are so proud of you. Ella, you did it. Everyone, you did it. You reached that milestone called graduation. Now we have to stop looking up and looking down because it's making me dizzy. So let's all look forward to the future. Of course, you will spend your future time learning from others, such as your future teachers, your future employers. But what you don't know is what you could be teaching them. Thank you, Ella. You have taught me more than you will ever know. Ella plans on entering the field of science. The future of science will be sweeter with Ella in it. Let me introduce to you the sweetest girl I know, Ella Wilcox, your class of 2021 Salutatorian.
Thank you, Mrs. Couchman, for those wonderful and heartwarming words. To the faculty and staff, Board of Education, families, friends, in the class of 2021, I would like to welcome you to our graduation ceremony and thank you all for sharing this experience with us. I am standing in front of you today as both your Salutatorian and your Student Council President, positions which I am honored to hold. I have strived to become one of the top 2 ranking students in our class since I learned of their prestige, but I was able to attain such a goal as a result of my love for learning, which has been fueled by my dad, mom, Aunt Bree, and my teachers from the very start. However, my inspiration to become Student Council President came from my mom. Even though I never told her, the differences she made while on the school and BOCES boards from her hard work and dedication inspired me to try to make a difference in a similar way. I often pass the plaque which bears her name throughout my days at school, proud to know her as my mother. Unfortunately, my mom passed away last month. Yet now I only feel the need to make her even prouder than before. I know she is with us today and is the proudest mom here, not only for me, but for all of us. She may not have known you all, however, she understood the work it took to get our diplomas and would be proud of every one of us for doing so. And we are all here for that same reason, to get our diplomas. But if I'm being honest, today's celebration has taken me a bit by surprise. High school seems to be one of those experiences in life that is filled with so much fun and laughter that when it ends, we are taken aback, despite the fact that we always knew the day would come. In our time here at Herkimer High School, I don't think any of us truly understood how close or far away today was. We definitely thought about it, some maybe more than others, both hopefully and longingly, but we did not comprehend how big today would be. And we have experienced so much together as a class, but now we are here to celebrate. We are here to take pride and joy in both the fact that we are graduating and in looking back on our years at Herkimer. I still remember the morning programs on stage as kids in elementary school, the end-of-year field days, Magician Mania, the Bridge Arts assemblies, and all of the moments in between. Some of my favorite memories are here, from the fun times on the tennis courts, to the laughs backstage during the musicals, to the lively moments with the track and field team. We have truly had some good times together, and I would not change them or who I shared them with for the world. This year was unlike any other, as we went to school our entire senior year in the midst of a pandemic. The pandemic stopped us from the traditional senior year we tend to think of, with socially distanced events, the lack of prom lock-in, a spaced-out senior trip, and among others, the lack of time together as one whole class. Yet however much the pandemic tried to push people apart, the more they grew together. If there is one thing I have learned from this experience, it is to appreciate and love the time you have with your families. I say families because not only do we have our families at home, but we also have our school family. Growing up in a small town like Herkimer, you get to know everyone and everyone gets to know you. For most of us, we have been together since kindergarten and have grown up beside one another. So it only seems fitting to call us a family. Sure, there are disagreements every now and then, but that is what a family does. And when you get down to the root of it, we still all love each other. And like any family would, you all know me like a book. And you all know that if I could, I would write a speech just as long as one. So I'll try to finish it up here before it gets dark. We are a family that has laughed and cried with one another, that has grown up together, and has had one tough year. But the one thing we are not is sick of each other. So as the years go by and we all go on to do the great things I know are in store for us, I hope we can look back and smile at our good times here at Herkimer, and hopefully we can do it together. But not too soon. Give it 10 years or so and we can all see each other at the reunion. In all seriousness though, I have loved sharing the past 4 years with you, and I know each and every one of us is destined to have a wonderful future. Thank you for the memories, and good luck to the class of 2021.
And now I would like to invite high school social studies teacher and our 2021 Teacher of the Year, Mr. Nick Sheldon, to the stage.
Well, I was surprised and honored on 2 counts this week. First, to be selected the high school Teacher of the Year by these students you see behind me, who I was lucky enough to teach for 2 years. And then to be invited to introduce our next speaker, who is the class of 2021 class president, Dante Mergenthaler. I had the pleasure of teaching Dante his social studies classes in 9th and 10th grade, and also as advising the Model United Nations Club that he was a distinguished member of. Dante has a remarkable talent for social studies. This became obvious very early in my time as his teacher. Whenever we did a quiz or a test, Dante always was done quickly, and then he spent the rest of the test period drawing intricate maps on the back of his answer sheet. These maps were wonderfully detailed and accurate. Dante would illustrate regions that connected to the particular topics we were studying. In 9th grade global studies, these included Africa and the Middle East. As Dante moved along to AP European history as a sophomore, the maps depicted Renaissance Italy, Napoleonic Europe, and eventually the Europe that emerged after each of the world wars. I remember one map Dante drew that was a fascinating exercise in alternative history. He had redrawn the map of Europe, North Africa, and Western Asia as if the Byzantine Empire had survived to the present day, along with several of the other leading powers of the medieval era. His work was so good, I would sometimes bring the maps home to show my 2 elementary school-age sons, both of whom like history and maps. Whenever they heard me talking about a test I had given, they always asked, "What map did Dante draw?" All of this illustrated Dante's artistic skill, spatial intelligence, creativity, and his love of history and geography. Dante's soccer coach, Eddie Rosenberg, said that as a freshman, Dante was a quiet and reserved player, not yet fully confident in his abilities, and as he continued to play and work at the sport, he evolved into a player willing and able to do anything on the field his coach asked of him, and to give 100% of his effort and skill to his team. Dante is a leader. The way he conducted himself in the classroom and organized study groups for AP Euro, the way he performed as a diplomat in his first regional Model United Nations conference, as an athlete representing Herkimer High, in his role as student council secretary, and in his final act as a high school student, the way he led the class of 2021 as their president during the most difficult year our community and our country have endured since at least 2001, probably since 1941. All prove his natural leadership qualities. In the course of my career, I have observed and been led by remarkable people in settings as varied as small private colleges, one major international university, secondary schools, both private and public, the Oneida County Sheriff's Department, and the battlefields of Iraq. What I noticed is that good leaders share common skills and traits. Number one, they can analyze a mission,
break it into subtasks, and delegate those tasks effectively. Number two, they can clearly communicate these requirements to the people that they lead. And number three, they clearly care for and about the people they lead while continuing to focus on accomplishing the missions, goals, and tasks at hand. Dante Mergenthaler has these characteristics and skills. Dante will be attending Roberts Wesleyan College in the fall, where he will continue to hone his leadership skills. I am grateful to have spent 4 years with Dante, and I'm grateful to know that he will be a leader in the world that my sons will grow to manhood in. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I introduce Dante Mergenthaler, class president for the class of 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Sheldon, for that awesome introduction. Well, hello, everyone. I am proud to be speaking here as your senior class president. First, I'd like to start this off with a few thank yous. First, I would like to thank all of the teachers and faculty at Herkimer High School for making these past few years a true experience. I can only imagine the strength and determination that it must take to keep being a great role model and teacher for each and every student. And for that, I appreciate you. I would also like to thank all of the friends and family here that made today possible. Your never-ending support for not only I, but the entire senior class truly made a difference. Most of all, I would like to thank the class of 2021. I've had the privilege of spending these past few years with all of you, and I truly appreciate each and every friendship and connection that I've made. Standing up here today, I feel a bit conflicted. On one hand, I'm graduating. I can finally leave the due dates and chaos of high school behind and move on to more due dates and chaos in college. On a serious note, though, it makes me happy that I've made it to this point and that all of you are up here with me. We've all worked so hard to get this far, and that's something to be proud of. On the other hand, today marks our first steps into our futures. As exciting as that can sound, it will be scary. The uncertainty of everything can feel overwhelming at times. However, that doesn't mean we can't do it. Look at the past year and a half. Due to COVID-19, everything was thrown out of balance. People's lives were changed for good. We all had to adjust to a world that nobody was prepared for. Now, I ask you to look around you. We made it. Each and every one of you, through hard work and dedication, are here today. We, as a school, as a community, overcame this obstacle through our cooperation and determination. As we gather here today, I want you all to know that this is not just a celebration for the end of our high school career. It is a celebration of overcoming what the world throws at us. A celebration of our years together, a celebration of our strength. As you all continue your journey, I want you to remember your time here at Herkimer High. Remember the great strength you showed and be proud of it. You are strong, and I have no doubt that you will accomplish great things. I wish all of you the best. Congratulations to the class of 2021.
And our final speaker will be introduced by high school English teacher and student council co-advisor, Mrs. Brooke Jones.
It is my honor to introduce Ariana Juko. When Ariana earned the title of Valedictorian, I was elated for her. She is a diligent young woman who consistently shows up. She doesn't just simply show up to school every day, although she did that too. She was recognized with the L. James Hagan Memorial Outstanding Attendance Award. Ariana shows up to everything she does. When she asked me to introduce her at graduation, I was overjoyed. It is such a huge honor to be chosen by a student on this special day. However, as I sat down to write this speech, I began to struggle to find the perfect word to describe her. Ariana is such an intelligent, kind, and enthusiastic, deserving student. Why can't I figure out the perfect word? So, what I decided to do was go on a quest to find the perfect word for Ariana Huppo. Surely, the more perspectives, the better. I brought my struggle to my colleagues and asked for their help. I knew the visual representation behind the word I wanted for her. She's an individual that shows up, remember her attendance, and puts both her hands into everything she does. She feels around, she examines every aspect, and then she executes. These qualities do not just apply to her grades, but her extracurricular and community endeavors as well. I went around and explained to 10 people my quest to find the perfect word to describe Ariana. These are the words I was given. Miss Bello, our library media specialist, suggested innovative. Miss McCutcheon, art teacher, said engage. Miss Smith, English 11, picked eager beaver and trailblazer. Miss Elias, English 10, thought unanticipated. Mr. Nicklaw, physics, chose responsible. Miss Kane, living environment, offered embody. Mr. Meininger, math, added dedicated. Miss Lampert, social studies 11, contributed self-advocate. Miss Solis, government and economics, added humanitarian. And Miss Tomaso, our high school principal, gave the word emphatic. I agree with every single one of those words, but after every single one of those interactions with my colleagues, I was still left with the same nagging feeling. Nope, that's not quite it. That is not good enough. She is all of those things, but the whole of Ariana is certainly greater than the sum of its parts. With great confidence today, I was able to find 2 perfect words to describe her. She is a graduate of Herkimer High School, and she's the class of 2021 Valedictorian. It is my pleasure to introduce her to the stage, Ariana Huppo.
Thank you, Ms. Jones, for your kind words. Good evening, parents, friends, faculty, staff, and of course, the graduating class of 2021. I don't want to just be corny and say, congrats, we did it, but that is essentially the point of the speech. I could go on and on potentially, but I'll spare you all. After all, I myself have just graduated. It seems that we have come a full circle. Once, 13 years ago, we walked through the doors of this very building looming next to us. Now, in our baggy graduation gowns and lopsided caps, no one can mistake us for anything else other than graduates. We have had our share of complaints, playing Kahoot until we couldn't stand it anymore, avoiding tests at all costs and debating who will take one for the team, and walking the halls wrapped up in blankets because the AC was always on at the wrong time. However, I think we can all agree on one specific point. We will never take nap time for granted again. I have learned the hard way that knowledge doesn't come through osmosis, as much as we wish it did. But before you zone out, I hope you'll at least remember the quadratic formula that has been so vehemently drilled into our heads. We can probably sing it in our sleep, but please don't, I beg you. On a more serious note, there's more to life than we have seen. As we leave this small community behind, I would like to encourage you all not only stick with the textbook facts, but to go out and challenge conventional wisdom. Our roots don't define us, they just shape our foundations. It's up to you to keep growing. Don't sit back and let the world dictate your standards. Go, explore, and find what calls you. People are constantly striving to achieve a just right stage in life. In this ongoing search, don't forget to strive to expand your own horizons and educate yourselves. This journey to self-discovery will take time, but don't worry, we have a lifetime ahead of us. Taking the time to discover one's own self is a method of self-actualization necessary to achieve a sense of satisfaction in life. And like Goldilocks, to find what is just right to pursue. So before you get your diplomas and hurry to post your photos on Insta, I wanted to leave you with some words of encouragement. Life has a way of testing a person's will, either by having nothing happen at all, or by having everything happen at once. This past year has seemingly brought both into existence simultaneously. And perhaps some just wish life was back to the way it always used to be. However, we are at a fork in the road, and there is no use trying to run back the way you came. Embrace the present. Embrace your future, whatever that may be. As of this moment on, we are the graduates of the class of 2021. Live it up and remember to give God the glory. Congratulations.
Thank you to all our speakers who did a wonderful job today. I'm so proud. And now we'll begin our presentation of diplomas. So, as seniors prepare to receive their diplomas, you will notice that hundreds of awards that were presented earlier this month are also listed in the program. We are grateful for the support our community gives our school, not just through scholarships, but all year long. Additional diploma honors will also be announced today, and you will notice that members of the National Honor Society are wearing their blue and gold cord. Academic H recipients are wearing green medals, and our military enlistee is wearing the sash for the branch that he's committed to. And now, Senior Class Advisor Mrs. Smith will present the graduates of the Class of 2021.
Ariana Juko, Valedictorian, Advanced Regents Diploma with Honors with Math and Science Mastery. Ella Wilcox. Ella's diploma is presented by retired Herkimer Board of Education member Harriet Tangora in honor of Ella's mother, Mrs. Donna Wilcox, who also served on our Board of Education with Harriet. Ella is our salutatorian, and she is presented with an Advanced Regents Diploma with honors in Math and Science Mastery, Student Council President and Class Treasurer. Charlotte Mancella, Advanced Regents Diploma with Honors with Math and Science Mastery. Kaylee Vose, Advanced Regents Diploma with Science Mastery and Class Vice President. Marian Lescovar, Advanced Regents Diploma with Science Mastery. Christine Nietes, Advanced Regents Diploma with Honors with Science and Math Mastery. Sarah Warner, Advanced Regents Diploma with Math Mastery with CTE endorsement. Gianna Rizza, Advanced Regents Diploma and Class Secretary. Dante Mergenthaler, Advanced Regents Diploma with Honors with Science Mastery and Class President. Danny Lee Rivet, Regents Diploma with Science Mastery. Michael Adams. Braden Alexander. Kyle Anetto. Ethan Austin. James Spagetta, CTE endorsement. Brady Becker, CTE endorsement. Ariel Bell, Advanced Regents Diploma. Kara Bohm, Advanced Regents Diploma. Cheyenne Foreman. Abigail Boyles. Najalik Briggs. Noah Carpenter. Laquan Colon. Olivia Cook. Natalie Crane, Advanced Regents Diploma. Reed Cunningham. Natalie Daly. Justin Diaz. Kaylee Flake. Jordan Foote. Michael Fratangelo. Caitlin Golicki, Advanced Regents Diploma. Lily Hansen. Shelby Herringshaw, Regents Diploma with CTE endorsement. Theodore Hiltz III. Destiny Howard. Angel Johnson, Advanced Regents Diploma with CTE endorsement. Madison Johnson. Taylor Johnston. Stephen Legata, Regents Diploma with Science Mastery. Ava Leno. Andrea Lamphere. Gage Leddick. Samantha Loomis, Regents Diploma with CTE endorsement. Jeffrey Liga, Advanced Regents Diploma. Noah Macrina. Claire Mashter, Regents Diploma with CTE endorsement. Molly McDonald, Advanced Regents Diploma. Hannah McLean. Andre McNair. Gavin Miller. Matthew Moore, Regents Diploma with CTE endorsement. Evan Nutt. Alexandra O'Hara, Advanced Regents Diploma with Science Mastery. Aiden Ploss, Advanced Regents Diploma. Michael Rando, Regents Diploma with CTE endorsement. Maya Reed, Regents Diploma with CTE endorsement. Timothy Regan. Jesse Richard, Advanced Regents Diploma. Megan Solomon, Advanced Regents Diploma. Gregory Satterley. Brendan Scanlon. Thomas Shell. Gabrielle Sementilli. Taylor Smith, Regents Diploma with CTE endorsement. Spencer Stallman, Advanced Regents Diploma with Math Mastery. Kayla Stevens. Brendan Stefano. Mary Streeter. Tristan Tallarico, Advanced Regents Diploma. Emily Temple. Justin Terrell. Candace Vandenberg, Advanced Regents Diploma. Andre Varenich. Haley Vivlamore, Advanced Regents Diploma.
Good job, Haley!
Jermaine Willis, Jr. Elisa Zhao, Advanced Regents Diploma with Math and Science Mastery. How well they follow directions. Congratulations, seniors. I know Mr. Miller mentioned our retirees, but I would also like to celebrate Mrs. Laura Salamone and Mrs. Kim Lanza. Mrs. Salamone's work was behind the scenes, keeping the CSC office running smoothly, and Mrs. Lanza's work was everywhere. In the halls, in the classrooms, in the nurse's office, on the field, in the pool, wherever we needed her, she was there. Their work was indispensable, and their legacies will live on in the countless lives they touched in just a single day's work. Please join me in offering them a heartfelt thank you and congratulations on a well-deserved retirement. And now, to the graduating class of 2021. It has been a senior year like no other. Who would have thought that the cherished experiences of having a locker, roaming the halls, spending study halls in the library, or even eating lunch in the cafeteria would be things that you would miss the most during your senior year. We all entered this school year uncertain of how it might unfold.
Would you be able to compete in varsity sports or perform on the stage? Would you be able to experience the traditional rites of passage, like a senior trip or even a graduation ceremony? Would you even be able to attend school in person at all this year? But finally, here we are, all together, all at once, for the very first time this year, to celebrate all that you have accomplished. The emotional, educational, and economic sacrifices that seniors have made have been great. But because we only saw you 2 or 3 days a week, even your best friends and your favorite teachers may not be aware of the personal hardships that you endured to make it here today. But you did it, and that's something to be proud of. Hopefully, the experience of living through a pandemic has taught you not to take any day or life for granted, and that through adversity, you become stronger. As I told last year's quarantined class, you have a choice. You could dwell on how you've been robbed of your senior experiences, or you can be grateful. Grateful for the camaraderie and victories of the sports seasons you experienced this year and throughout high school, and especially this year's abbreviated and consolidated seasons, where nearly every sport was played in the spring. Grateful for being able to perform parodies in the park. Grateful for the many celebrations you had throughout your school years, from the kindergarten Halloween parades, to field days kickball tournaments, to your last high school winter weekend dance. Grateful for the plus or minus 2,285 days of your school careers that were spent learning and laughing with beloved teachers and friends. Grateful for the opportunity to have all of your friends and family here to honor you today. And grateful for the wisdom and inspiration of those you were lucky enough to have known and loved. I know that I am personally thankful for the dedication of our educational community who got us through the most challenging year I've ever experienced in my many years of education. I appreciate the generosity of our community that sponsored your street banners and your senior trip. I'm grateful for the time given by your parents and teachers to make these memories for you. And I'm grateful for the chance to be together as a class one last time. Thankfully, I had the chance to enjoy your collective sense of humor this year. Like the night you waited until dark to set up camp in the high school parking lot, tents and all, only to find out that I hadn't gone home yet. And when I drove into the parking lot after midnight, much to your surprise, you kindly invited me to stay for breakfast and used all of your negotiating skills, no doubt perfected with their parents, to try to get to stay there all night long. You were polite and persuasive, but when you realized you weren't going to win this one, you moved your camp to an outpost across town and made the most of the hours of darkness that remained. I'm also convinced that I'll be finding yellow Post-it notes with Laquan's name written on them all over the building for the whole school year ahead of me. I hope that you remember your senior year with the same fondness that I will remember you. What I hope you will take from our shared experience this year is that nothing is promised and that being grateful is a choice. Live every day like it's your last, grateful for the path that led you there and for the opportunities that each day brings. Congratulations. I am so proud of each and every one of you for all that you have accomplished, and I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Whether it's here on the football field or at home for the live-streamed graduation ceremony, we appreciate your support. It truly was an honor to have our first high school graduation on our football field with you here today. There are numerous individuals and organizations who deserve special recognition for making today possible. We want to thank Mrs. Manley for helping our seniors to get through a very trying and challenging year. Thank you to Kyle Ropnack and Herkimer College for live streaming our event today, Nick Sal for the sound system, and Mr. Krause for his vocal expertise because he came back to coach our vocalists here today so that they could perform on this very special day. Thank you to Mrs. Anderson for your duty today, Mr. Aurelio for your photography services, Mr. Matthew for your drone photography services that we had this morning. Mr. McKernan, our custodial staff, Mrs. McGuire, Ms. Chilelli for their extensive preparations, not only for today, but for the whole graduation season. When I experience an event like this, I truly appreciate what a wonderful community of people I work for and with. And last but not least, I'd like to thank Chief Jory and the Herkimer Police Department. They will be leading our senior cavalcade after the event. So when our seniors head out, they should head out to the cavalcade parking lot, front and center, and get ready to roll, because I had told the public we'd be out there about 7:30, and we are almost on time. So everyone, thank you, and please join me in thanking all of us who helped make this day special for our graduates. So as we near the close of our ceremony today, please stand and join in the singing of the alma mater, which will be led by senior Charlotte Buncella. The words to the alma mater are printed on the back of your program. And now, seniors, with the authority and responsibility granted to me by the Commissioner of Education for the State of New York, I am honored to present to you the Herkimer High School class of 2021. You may turn your tassels. Congratulations, graduates.
I chose to come to Herkimer because of the fashion program.
I am continuing my education at Cornell University.
The main thing that you come here for is